Mandela effect, the curious case of Hypnotiq, the missing why. Mandela effect in spelling, branding, and rap culture. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, and in today's deep dive, we're spotlighting a single word, Hypnotiq. Or is it Hypnotiq? One tiny spelling discrepancy, one missing letter. And yet, it sparked questions that go far beyond alcohol branding. Because this isn't just about memory, it's about reality stability. What makes this example different from the rest is how linguistic residue shows up, not in academic sources, but in music, in lyrics, in culture. Over 50 rap songs have referenced this brand, and many of them support an alternate spelling that, according to current records, never existed. There's no trademark for it, no label archive, no bottle on display that spells it the way millions of people remember, with a Y and a full French ending, Hypnotiq. Today, we're going to examine this change in full, not just what people remember, but what's been documented, preserved, and repeated in popular culture. Because if you can change a brand name without anyone noticing, what else can you change? The brand that appeared, then shifted. Let's start with what the brand actually is. Hypnotiq is a bright blue liqueur launched in 2001. Marketed as a fusion of vodka, tropical fruit, and cognac, it became an instant hit in clubs and lounges. But its real breakout moment came through music, specifically hip-hop. It wasn't just endorsed, it was named in songs. Artists rapped about it, poured it in videos, and made it a cultural staple in early 2000s nightlife. Now here's where it gets interesting. While the current spelling is Hypnotiq, a stylized, vowel-deficient version, the majority of people who were clubbing, bartending, or listening to radio at the time do not remember it that way. They remember it spelled the way it sounds, Hypnotique, Hypnotiq. A name that felt upscale, foreign, fluid, a name that matched the bottle's aesthetic and the mood of the era. But that spelling doesn't exist. Not now. And, allegedly, not ever. Every single official archive, from trademark filings to old marketing decks, insists it was always spelled Hypnotiq, missing both the Y and the UE. And yet, a shocking number of consumers remember the opposite. Linguistic residue in rap music. Here's where this Mandela effect becomes undeniable. Rap lyrics. Unlike personal memory or anecdotal evidence, music leaves behind something we can measure. Publicly recorded statements. And in over 50 different songs across the 2000s, artists reference the liqueur with the long spelling. They don't just say it, they spell it, emphasize it, and rap in a way that clearly implies an alternate version of the word. Many pronounce it as Hypnotiq. Many write it that way in online lyric databases. In some cases, even their official releases printed the alternate spelling. Let's look at examples. In the 2002 remix by Jadakiss and Fabulous, one line says, "Sippin' Hypnotiq, mix it with Henny and ice." There's no mistaking the pronunciation. It's not Hypnotiq with clipped consonants. It's Hypnotiq, elongated, fluid, and French-leaning. Then there's Juvenile, who references it in club anthems. So do 2 Chainz, Fat Joe, Jim Jones, and many others. These aren't isolated mispronunciations. They're a linguistic consensus, spoken and reinforced by dozens of artists who were drinking it, promoting it, and rhyming with it in real time. You might say, well, they were just approximating the pronunciation, but that's the point. Why would dozens of unrelated artists, over years of production, all land on the same incorrect version? Not once. Not as a joke, but as the dominant form. In fact, the brand was often referred to with a tone of luxury. That French spelling, ique, aligned with other prestige liqueurs and perfumes. So for people to hear it and write it as Hypnotiq made perfect sense at the time, until it suddenly didn't. Cultural memory versus corporate archive. Now let's take a step back. Corporate history insists that the spelling has always been Hypnotiq. No Y, no UE, clean, simplified, trademark-friendly. It looks modern, edgy, and intentionally stylized. And today, that's all that exists in official databases. But if you search internet archives, early lyric sites, fan forums, even club flyers from the early 2000s, you'll find written references that use the longer form. Not once, not sporadically, consistently. That's what's called residue in the Mandela effect community. Evidence from a previous version of reality that didn't fully vanish. It lingers in data fragments, in text, in music. And in this case, it's been hiding in plain sight inside hip-hop culture for decades. And this isn't the only example. There are others. Whiteout versus Whiteout, Febreze versus Febreze, Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer. But the Hypnotiq case is unique because it's not just packaging. It's audio, spoken repetition, muscle memory of language. And that kind of evidence is extremely difficult to dismiss. Could it be a marketing strategy? Let's entertain a reasonable explanation. Could the original brand intended people to think it was Hypnotiq, even if the spelling was Hypnotiq? Possibly. Brand stylization often bends phonetics. Look at Krispy Kreme or Lyft or Fruit Loops. But here's the issue. There's no evidence that the company promoted it with the Hypnotiq pronunciation. All promotional materials reflected the stylized spelling. There was no dual spelling in different markets. No early versions with the Y. No archived bottle photos that show the French ending. So how did so many people, including artists, writers, and promoters, get it wrong in the exact same way? That's not a branding issue. That's a memory divergence, one that goes beyond design and into perception. The Mandela effect in spelling. If the Mandela effect teaches us anything, it's that language itself is unstable. Words we grew up with shift quietly. Logos drop letters. Brand names flatten, and no one takes credit. There's no press release, no version log, just change. That's what's disturbing about this. Because Hypnotiq wasn't a logo. It wasn't a cartoon bear or a cereal box. It was a spoken word, echoed across songs, clubs, and conversations. And when language changes retroactively, so does reality. You're not just misremembering a spelling. You're witnessing a divergence in cultural documentation. The artists, the fans, the websites, they were all saying one thing. The brand now says another. And no one can explain the disconnect. This one may not make the news, but it should. Because it proves something important. When artists document a version of reality that no longer exists, they become more than entertainers. They become archivists. The fact that over 50 songs contain this error suggests it wasn't an error at all. It was a reference to a version of the brand, and perhaps of reality, that no longer exists on paper, but still echoes in memory. So if you remember Hypnotiq with a Y, you're not misinformed. You're part of a version of reality that held different data. And if we don't preserve these variations, they'll disappear completely. Rewritten, not just in print, but in consciousness. This isn't about nostalgia. It's about documentation. And in a world where even brand names are unstable, our collective memory may be the only record we have left. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas, 11x published author, and what you just watched was only a taste of what's inside the Truth series, where we go all the way down the rabbit hole. If you're the kind of person who's always asking bigger questions, who knows there's more to this world than what we've been told, then this is your invitation to the series that was built for you. Inside the Truth series, you'll get full access to 6 mind-blowing sub-series designed to wake up your highest intelligence and decode the matrix we live in. 1. Locate the truth. Learn how to actually research, not just what to search, but how to verify, cross-reference, read declassified files, and protect your own mind from weaponized misinformation. This is truth-seeking, decoded. 2. The Mandela effect. Are we shifting timelines? Why do so many people remember a different past? We break down the most bizarre, undeniable examples of reality glitches and what they tell us about consciousness and control. 3. Law is magic. Law is not what you think it is. From word spells to maritime law and hidden contracts, we uncover how legal systems use language like a wand and how to stop being tricked by fine print that binds you without consent. 4. Entertainment or ritual. The Hollywood and music industries are not just for entertainment. From Super Bowl rituals to Grammy stage symbolism, we decode what's really being shown, who it serves, and why mass consciousness is the target. 5. Decoding dystopia. Ever wondered why dystopian fiction feels prophetic? In this subseries, we decode popular films and books, Hunger Games, 1984, Black Mirror, to reveal the hidden blueprints and predictive programming behind the plot. 6. MK Ultra plus mind control programs. This one gets deep. From real MK Ultra documents to modern symbolism in media, we expose how mind control operates in plain sight and how to free yourself from manipulation you didn't even know was happening. And that's just the beginning. If this resonated with you, click the links below and join us inside the Full Truth series, because the more you know, the harder you are to control. This is your awakening. We don't just ask questions, we find answers. Let's go all the way down the rabbit hole together.